Hi friends, Kat Kabir here. This morning I was reflecting upon my own journey with the energetic arts and how, well, I've actually been exploring the energetic arts since I was a child. After I already was a yoga teacher and I started to more formally train in various modalities, I noticed that how I taught my classes and how the energy work, informed my approach to students, my way that I viewed pain in the body, it really changed. And what I love too is that for me, as a beginner teacher back then, all the yoga practices seemed way more esoteric and almost a little bit out there in terms of the energetic practices, and how to make something much more practical, much more simple, much more accessible, and something that you could really feel in your body and actually get results. So for me, especially when I started to teach or practice now what I teach, which is a blend of biodynamic craniosacral therapy. There is some shamanic healing art background to it, some Barbara Brennan school, and also just my own exploration for decades. To really start to view the body as how there's the physical pain, that's how the body will express things, emotional, mental pain, and also astral. And I won't even get into the ancestral that also exists. And also we could talk about the collective and perhaps karmic, but that there's a multidimensional field that we can start to sense both within ourselves and someone else. And it's really important because really everyone is looking for, how can I get relief? So that's my passion, and I found that not just giving like my straight up healing sessions, both in person and remotely, but that it really changed how I teach. So I would say the main things are the essence of grounding. No, it's like the billionth video about grounding. However, for those of you who have worked with me, you will agree that there is a new level of ground that I will teach you. So imagine you're teaching a class, or you're sitting with a client, or you're a mom, or you're a teacher with kids, and that there's a level of ground that you have in your system, because there's a transmission that happens in that ground without you having to say like, hey, I'm grounded. Like there's a transmission that happens that reminds other people's systems we can ground too. Now, of course, this creates safety. This gives people a new possibility of where they can arrive within themselves. It creates trust. It also helps you as a facilitator or a teacher drop in and really see what's going on here. So the way I teach my yoga classes is I don't have a script. I sit. I just take some time and I really listen and I drop in deeply. And from that place, I listen to the student systems begin to speak. And that's how I teach the class, responding to the bodies that are speaking. And you really get to learn that when you train with me in being an energetic healing arts practitioner. And what's also really fun is what I call energetic adjustments. And I found that just started naturally happening after I started to work much more hands-on with the energetic arts. That when I was teaching classes, it was like, instead of me going in, I still do the standard adjustments of like, okay, like let's move the hip here and, let's move the foot here, etc. But the quality of touch and really reading, how does someone need to be approached? Because everyone needs to be approached differently. And how I would go in and make contact with both their subtle field and deeper field. And I kind of joke with students, like who haven't been with me, it's their first class with me. And I'll say, okay, like I might look a little awkward because I'll just be like standing near you, not touching you. And my hand will be like, in your field. And it's actually contacting the unprocessed trauma that's still sitting in your field. And there's a potency in that. So the energetic adjustments, that was a whole other world. And I found that that's why a lot of people just came to my class. They were like, I just want to do this energetic thing. I don't even know what you're doing, but I want it. So the final thing too is, being able to have your own energetic language. And that's really the initiation you go through as a student. If you're in like a level 1 energy training with me, is that we are going into territory that we don't yet have language for. And that can be a very uncertain area where the good students in us want to kind of like have the formula, we want to know. And we have to sit in that don't know space and experience new levels of sensations, and even tolerate the part of us that wants to define it and not, and to really be with it and gain experience with it, so that suddenly a whole new world emerges. So for me, it felt like a complete reality shift in terms of how I connect both to myself and how I connect to others. So, especially if you've always been a little bit curious about working with energy with others, it's something where you feel like you have gifts, but you have no idea how to use it. If you're ready to experience a whole new world, I still have spaces for my Connection Level 1 online training that starts this June. I also have an in-person training in Bali starting in September. Now you can do both, and that's a real game changer. And you can do one, and it's still pretty special. So I would love to see you there, and always, always get in contact if you have any questions. Have a beautiful day.